Hello everyone, I'm Tuco and welcome to a new structure showcase video. This one is the Wood Elven and gurdur factions. Now I know those are opposing factions, good versus evil, but they are the Mirkwood factions, so therefore I decided to do them all together. Plus there wouldn't be enough content if I just did one or the other. And the structure showcase is now coming back every Wednesday from here on out. And it should be a lot of fun. So let's start off this new structure showcase video with the first structure of the Woodland Elves, which is this woodland platform, which spawns, I believe, a woodland captain or wood elf. Yes, these spawn wood elves. And usually you find them on the big trees in the Mirkwood forest. But since there aren't any trees around, I decided to just place it on the ground. So it does come with the green oak wood, which I quite like the texture of this wood. It's kind of a darker type of wood. Good alternative to oak. And I use it in quite a few of my builds. I really enjoy it. And these torches are very nice too. The red looks absolutely stunning with this green here as well. So now on to the next structure, which is the Woodland Elf house, which has a tree growing right in the middle of it. So here we have some nice hedges, perfectly trimmed all the way around. Now there aren't any windows on these houses except for the windows in the front, which I don't quite like. I'd rather have windows, but I mean, if you're trying to protect yourself from spiders, I guess it's pretty good. Usually there is a basement. Seems I've cut out the floor. Nope, there he goes. Yeah, usually there's a basement, and there's also usually some chests down here as well that you can get your hands on, some cakes as well. But since I've chosen a super flat world that's very shallow, it goes all the way down to bedrock. However, I do like the lining of the elven bars, the wooden elven bars all across the top here. It looks very nice, and also the use of wood elven brick with the stone and the, I'm not even sure what kind of, beechwood, okay. Yeah, that looks very nice. And also these awesome looking carved wood elven bricks with the trees on them. They look very decorative, very nice, especially with these green oak trees growing in the middle. It looks like one. And then, of course, these green oak trees on the sides here. Now, there is a ladder here if you're in survival mode that you can go all the way up to the top. Have a look at the tree, kind of get a view of the surroundings, and then, of course, the beech oak wood fence going around the outside. Now, you can find a wood elven crafting bench in here, which is very useful if you're trying to get the faction's gear and tools. There's also a chest here that usually has some useful materials. I mean, you got some arrows, some mugs, a bit of string, and a cool book, Lament for an Ent. Which I don't know why you'd find that all the way in Mirkwood, since Ents are down south quite a ways, actually. Anyway, the stripped logs as well, they look very nice. I really enjoyed that kind of texture. It's actually, Minecraft and their new update are coming out with a kind of texture like this for all the trees. However, this is just beechwood, plain old beechwood. Anyway, on to the next and the largest structure in this showcase today, which is the Wood Elven tower. Now these are towers kind of similar to the dwarven towers. There's also a basement, but as you can see, it's been cut out by the super flat world, unfortunately. At the end of the video, I'll show all the basements off and try and get a good view of them. So you have a spiral staircase going all around here, of course, with the green oak wood and the wood elven bricks looking absolutely fabulous. You find the captain here and warriors of the Wood Elven realm, and good lookout too to take a look at any incoming attacks from the gurdur orcs or spiders, because Wood Elves have a pretty big trouble with them. Now there isn't really any loot in here to be had. It's just a spiral staircase going up, but however at the top you can find this guy here, the commander, the Wood Elven captain. What foolish makes you think an alpha Mirkwood would follow your lead, Tuco Regel? Yep, because I'm a dwarf. Anyway, yeah, you can hire troops from the captains there, and at the very top here, you have you have their armor here, some wood elven armor, some bow, a wood elven bow, and a few arrows. So not too much from this wood elven tower. However, there is another tree growing through it, just like the house, which is kind of cool. And of course, if you want the banners, they're right here for the taking. I quite like that banner. Looks very awesome with the green and the gold. Absolutely wonderful. And of course, you have to have the ruined version of these towers, which also look very ominous and cool, especially in the misty Mirkwood forest. It looks absolutely stunning. And again, there's a basement to it as well, but down there it's just ruins like this. And then onto the Wood Elven Smithery, which honestly, I really like the Wood Elven Smithery designs a lot more than the Dwarven ones. Dwarven ones are kind of, smaller and tucked in, which is fine. But I really like the Wood Elven designs for their smitheries, because you have this cool kind of round shape going, and in the very center you have the forge, and on the outsides you have all like the anvils and crafting benches and all kinds of chests filled to the brim with all kinds of goodies. And of course their special elven forge, and the wood, of course, the wood elven crafting bench, which I cannot access. And then of course the lava in the middle for the smithery, and a cool design. I especially like the pillars too, working in here, and then of course the green clay tiling stairs. I think those look amazing. Wonderful blocks. And now on to away from the good and onto the bad. The good and the bad. We don't have the ugly today, unfortunately. Actually, I could do the ugly. I know who they are. Anyway, this is a temple. I believe it's called the Gurdur altar or something like that. And it has a Gurdur crafting bench in the center. They're pretty cool structures to find outline in Gurdur. Just kind of ominously, again, just built there with nothing around them. And then, of course, their largest structure, the Gurdur tower, and that is a really cool banner. Look at that. That is pretty sweet. Anyway, so inside here we have the Gurdur glowing bricks, which, man, they look amazing. And if you look up here, you can see all the way to the very top of the tower. Now we're probably going to take that way simply because it's easier for us. But in survival mode, you can just take the stairs up. And of course, there's always a hidden chest with some pretty cool stuff. Orc draught, especially, which is honestly very nice to have occasionally. I'd give you the extra speed boost and attack boost. Anyway, so up here, we have another section of the tower, if I can get up there. There we are. So up here, we really don't have anything in all of these different locations, especially kind of like the Wood Elven towers. There really wasn't much. It's just going up. So you can do a lot with these places. There isn't a much of remodeling you have to do. Just kind of fill it in with sorts of crafting benches and chests and whatnot. And of course we have the Orc Chieftain, who doesn't want me to rule any of his orcs because I do not have enough alignment. But up here we have a nice overarching view of all the surrounding territories, and I just have to admire this. Look at those fins at the top here. I mean, those are incredible. They look so cool. They look almost like Saruman's tower in a way, with the fins going up to the top. I think that looks amazing. Great design, great build. Really enjoy it. And then of course the spider pit, which again the bottom has been taken out, but there would be spiders in here and chests on either side filled with loot to be had. And if you have enough alignment, you can get those spiders and actually use them in your army. Now here we have the orc tents for the Gurdur, kind of like the other ones with maggoty bread and whatnot in them. And then of course the forge, which just has the orc forge, which can make the orc steel and whatnot, and different items like that. Again, another orc forge. Can I get through here? There we go, I got through. Alright, and then of course these torches are amazing. They're perfect to just stick on the ground. They look almost like a tiki torch if you could design one like that. And here is where the Orc Chieftain usually spawns. And then of course another crafting bench with some more tents scattered around and a little farm to feed them with, of course, maggoty bread. And then, of course, the skulls litter around because, well, they eat quite a few various different things. And so that does it for the good, the bad, or the good and the bad. And now time for the ugly. And here is the ugly. The ugly is the Ruduar faction, in my opinion. They're the Hillmen. Now, they aren't found in Mirkwood. They are found on the other side of the Misty Mountains. Where are they found exactly? I wouldn't say Bree, but the wildlands between Bree and the Misty Mountains are where you can find these guys. They're more associated with the Angmar faction, as seen by this right here. Which I should have done that with the Gundabad and Angmar faction. I should have added in the Ruduar last time. However, I did not think to do that. So they're here for this, the good, the bad, and the ugly factions. Now, in here we have, of course, the ugly hillmen with their, rough edges, and of course their skulls on the walls. And this is just a plain house that they have, very plain, simple, some straw carpet, a straw bed, and a few of their weapons put in there, and just a simple crafting bench. I don't think they have a special crafting bench or any sort of, they don't have any crafting benches or any special faction forges. However, they do have their own banner. That is the Hillman banner, a double-sided axe, which looks very cool indeed, very rough around the edges, sort of. And then here we have the chieftain's house, in which it's a lot more grand and larger and a lot nicer, if you would, because there's even a little fire, which of course gets cut off by that, by the void. Now in here, you will find an Angmar crafting bench, because they are aligned with the Angmar, and a normal forge, normal chest, some fur, and of course the Angmar banner and a straw bed with some straw mats. So these guys, they're living very roughly. They're rough men from the north who align themselves with the orcs. And they just have some very simple buildings. However, I really enjoyed this building. It's got a very nice design. I really like the slope of the house. This one's a lot plain and bland. There isn't even an overhang here, which I would put. This one has an overhang. It's a lot fancier. So I definitely like this building over that one, of course, but this one's more grand. Now, the Ruduar, they had a very, I don't really know the whole lore on the Ruduar. However, I do know that at some point they had castles, at least, because you have the Ruduar castles. Now, these come in various shapes and sizes, as I've demonstrated by putting two. You can have a very large open one or a very small one. Now, if you want, you can also repair these and make them look real nice and whatnot, fix them up. And sometimes you also get chests filled with some really, honestly, some pretty great loot, since this is like almost an Arnorian, which they're related to the Gondorians, but not, yes, they are related from the Gondorians, because they are Numenorians or similar. Anyway, you can repair these, take all these blocks out, build the walls up, fix the holes, loot the chests. I mean, these are some pretty nice chests. I mean, that's a good amount of gold, some Arnorian spears and leggings. Not bad at all. So now at the very end here, we're going to go over the 4 different structures that I cut out the floors with, because I had too small of a world. So down here of the Wood Elven house, there is a little bed for you to sleep in, a Wood Elven bed, and a wonderful, not too wonderful, but a brown carpet going outside of this tree, as well as some bookshelves, which are very nice. You can read up on information and whatnot. Now, the second structure that we cut out the bottom of is the Wood Elven Tower. Now, the Wood Elven Tower actually goes pretty far down into the ground, with a lot of different things down here, as you can see. It's a whole little place here, and it even goes further down into the dungeons, in which you have some orcs still alive, a few skeletons and whatnot. So there's a lot to this place underground as well. And then, of course, a few Wood Elven crafting benches, some wine, of course, and then some books and lembas and red wine, all kinds of stuff. A little area for the soldiers to come down here and take a load off and eat. Really nice area, honestly. You could do a lot with this place. Turn it into some kind of massive fort if you want to. It'd be a great place to do that, especially for the Wood Elven faction. Now, over here with the Rune Wood Elven faction, it's real dark down here. So let me first grab a potion real quick. Splash potion of night vision, so we can see down here a little easier. So down here, it's pretty much the same thing, except there's no food and nothing like that. Oh my goodness. And a lot of spiders, apparently. That is a ton of spiders. Have fun killing them. That'll be very hard. And the loot doesn't seem to be too well worth it. You might be able to find something cool down there, but it doesn't look like you're going to be finding mithril like you do in the mines of the dwarves. That's always fun to find a little bit of mithril. Now onto the spider pit. So there's a ladder going all the way down here in which you can find the spider trainer, this gurdur orc, and you need 50 alignment in order to tame one of these guys. Once you do, I mean, look at this guy. This guy's got poison. That's amazing. And there's also a chest down here with some random things. Not too good, but nonetheless, it is a fun structure to find in Gurdur, as well as all these other ones in the Wood Elven faction. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Structure Showcase series for the LOTR mod. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I hope to be making many more of these episodes in this series, because I'm back at it doing YouTube. Anyway, guys, God bless. I'll see you next time.